Yes, dear children, let us continue with the social class. In the previous class, we have discussed up till this what you call page number 134, that is importance of geographical factor, right? We out of the geographical factor, we saw that there are three major physiographical divisions, okay, which is the Himalayan upland, the Indo-Gangetic plains, and the Peninsular India. So we have discussed up till this the Himalayan upland, right? So today let us see the Indo-Gangetic plain, or you can also term that as the Northern Plain and the Peninsular India. What role does they have to play? Or what is their importance? Let's see. Page 134, left hand side, last paragraph. The northern plains and peninsular India are separated by a large intermediate zone called Central India, extending from Gujarat to western Odisha over a stretch of 1600 km. Underline that. The northern plains and peninsular India, they are separated by what? By an intermediate zone. What is the name of that? Central India. The area 1600 km from Gujarat to western Odisha. See, question and answer everything I told. Just open your ears, okay? The Arabella Hills in Rajasthan separate the Indus Plain from the peninsula. Even that as well. The Arabella Hills in Rajasthan separate the Indus Plain from the peninsula. So it's the Indus Plain gets separated from the peninsula because of the Arabella Hills, and which is in Rajasthan. The intermediate zone is characterized by the presence of the Vindhya and Satpura range and the Chotanagpur Plateau, covering portions of Bihar, Bengal, and Odisha. This region can be subdivided into four sub-regions: the land of the Rajput between Udaipur and Jaipur, the Malwa Plateau around Ujjain, more popularly known as Avanti in ancient India, and Vidarbha, or the sub-regions around Nagpur, and the Chhattisgarh Plain in eastern Madhya Pradesh or Dakshina Kosala. Alright. Online from there as well. This region can be subdivided into four sub-regions. Number one, that is the land of the Rajputs between Udaipur and Jaipur. Number two, the Malwa Plateau around Ujjain, more popularly known as Avanti in ancient India. Number three, Vidarbha, or the sub-regions around Nagpur. And the fourth one is the Chhattisgarh Plain in eastern Madhya Pradesh or Dakshina Costa. Alright. Nothing much to explain. Most of the things to take note of. So yeah, the beginning of this paragraph. First of all, the northern plain and the peninsular India, they are being separated. They are not together, and the reason behind their separation is what do you call? Because of the intermediate zone, okay, which is also known as Central India, and that is between the area Gujarat to western Odisha, and the total area is somewhere around total area of Central India, okay, which separates the northern plain and the peninsular India. It's somewhere around 1600 km. First, secondly, even the Indus plain is separated from the peninsula, okay, second point, and the reason behind that is the Aravalli Hills, which is in Rajasthan. Next, we have this what do you call the intermediate zone is characterized. Okay, now this the intermediate zone, which is also called the Central India. I'm talking about the area that is from what is that, from Gujarat to western Odisha. That particular zone, it has got different types of characteristic, and those different types of characteristics is basically because of the presence of Vindhya and Satpura range, and also the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now the Chota Nagpur Plateau covers certain areas, that is Bihar, Bengal, and Odisha. Okay, all these things you need to take note of. Now this particular area, that is Chota Nagpur Plateau. All right, see, it's written this THIS, this region. So this particular area can be subdivided again into four sub-regions. Number one, the land of the Rajput. It is called the land of the Rajput, which lies between Udaipur and Jaipur. Okay, so you may get many objective questions. What is the term, or which area is called the land of the Rajput? That means the land between Udaipur and Jaipur. Number two, the Malwa Plateau. Where is it? It is around Ujjain, and it is also known as Avanti in ancient India. So what is the name of Malwa Plateau in ancient India? Another objective question. Note down as I'm discussing, okay? Everything bits and bytes I'm not going to give you. You just have to listen to the explanation. Where am I? Yeah, the third point. that is Vidarbha, or the sub-regions around Nagpur. The fourth sub-region is Chhattisgarh Plain, which is in eastern Madhya Pradesh, or Dakshina Kosla. Now, where is Chhattisgarh Plain? Another question. It is in eastern Madhya Pradesh, or so here you just need to take note of these things and fit it in your system. Next para. Despite difficulty in communication and movement across the intermediate zone, contacts between these four apparently isolated pockets and between this region and other physiographic divisions did take place. All right. Yes, there were difficulty like the present type of communication system or the present type of transportation movement of system that we have. It didn't exist in those days. There were difficulty in terms of communication and also in terms of movement, transportation and all across this intermediate zones that we have read. But however, there were contacts with one another. Okay, it's not that they were completely out of touch from one another. They did contact one another between this particular area and also some other areas as well. On the southern edge of central India begins the formation called Peninsular India. Underline that. Peninsular India basically lies in southern India. The rocky formation gently slopes from west to east, and four major rivers flow into the Bay of Bengal. These four rivers, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. Underline that. Which are the four major rivers which flows directly into the Bay of Bengal? Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. They have produced alluvial plains and helped the creation of nuclear areas in the plains and deltas, enabling cultural growth to sustain for prolonged periods through history. All right. Yeah, there's something which you need to understand this portion. So, Peninsular India is in southern edge of the central India, firstly. Secondly, this particular portion, okay, this particular area, there you'll find the rocky formation, but those rocky formation are gently slope down, okay. It is sloping from west to east, and third point, there are four major rivers which flows into the Bay of Bengal, that is Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. And because of these rivers, which constantly keeps on flowing into the Bay of Bengal, what has happened is that these four rivers have produced alluvial plain. Alluvial plain, basically it's a kind of alluvial. I think maybe you have come across or not the different types of soil that we have. So this alluvial plain is one such type of soil which is very much fertile for farming, for cropping, for human settlement as well. So, and the same thing took place out here even. Since this four river, they have produced a lot of alluvial plain, and because of which it helped in the creation of nuclear areas, and also in this plains, and it also helped in the growth of culture, means different people, settlement of people in simple language. Okay, people started settling out there, and that too not for short periods, for long periods, and which you can get to know in history. Next, we have the Narmada and the Tapti River. The Narmada and the Tapti River, however, have a westward flow and run into the Arabian Sea. Okay, they flow towards the west direction. Like these four rivers, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri, they flow towards the Bay of Bengal, which is in the east. But the Narmada and the Tapti, they flow towards the west, and they go and connect into Arabian Sea. Underline that. Arabian Sea in Gujarat, after running through the hilly central India. Alright. The Reykken Plateau is the well-known feature of the region. It extends from the Vindhyas in the north to the southern limits of Karnataka. The black soil in Maharashtra and the adjoining parts of central India is especially rich. The soil yields good crops of cotton, millets, peanuts, and oilseeds. It was this reason why the early farming culture, that is Calolithic, in western and central India emerged here. In the west, the plateau terminates with the Western Ghats, and in the east, its contours are marked by the Eastern Ghats. The Nilgiris and the Cardamom Hills are regarded as offshoots of the basic peninsular formation. Okay. So many points to remember. Yeah, first of all, there's two rivers which flows into the Arabian Sea towards the west direction. That's the Narmada and the Tapti River, and the Arabian Sea, which is in Gujarat. And as they flow, they run through hilly central India. First point. Second point, this particular area, that's this what you call the Deccan Plateau. It extends extends, covering the area. Okay, the size. It extends from, important underline, it extends from the Vindhyas in the north to the southern limits of the Karnataka. Third point, here what happens in Maharashtra, you find black soil, okay, and also in the adjoining parts of central India. And black soil, this is one such type of soil which is very much rich for certain type of crops such as for cotton, millets, peanuts and oilseeds. And because of this, since this black soil is found in this region and which is very much fertile for this type of crop, and this being one of the reason that why the early farming, okay, the early farming cultures you will find in western and central India, especially in this place, because of the black soil, presence of the black soil. And when you go to the west, in the west, the plateau, they terminates with the western ghats, and in the east it contours are marked by the eastern ghats. Now, the Nilgiri and the Cardamom hills, name of two hills. These two hills are mainly regarded as the offshoots of this, what do you call, peninsular formation. Okay, that means the peninsular formation mainly happened where this Nilgiris and Cardamom hills. Next, we have the same topic continues. I will not be able to cover up this topic today because if you see page number 136, it goes up till terms used to describe the Indian subcontinent, which will be too much for you in a day. You must eat only that much of food how much you are able to digest, right? Overeating will lead to indigestion, which you may, puke it out, which is not good. Ultimately, what will happen? The food which you ate, even that will come out. I'll keep it up to this much, with the hope that you will digest it. See you in the next class. Be home, be safe.